What's up, guys? This is bgard coming back at you with another video. Last time I gave you my sleeper picks for CFM in Madden 21. Now I'm going to give you teams I personally would stay away from. The first team on this list, the New York Jets. The biggest reason? This guy is gone. Jamal Adams is gone. Traded to the Seattle Seahawks. Their highest rated player is now an 87 overall, Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is nice, but he's slow and he's not going to get much faster. The rest of their team, I'm not too crazy about either. Their offense is not very good. The defense, a lot to be desired. Let's look at the speed rating. You've got a couple fast guys. That's cool. 94. But if you look at them, a lot of guys, all their guys who have speed, don't hit above 75 overall. Like, Brian Poole is the highest rated at 90. And, if you have 90 speed, that's like, I think, bare minimum of what a corner can be without having to play in the slot. It is not a good team. This team I would stay away from. The rest of their team, they got two good middle linebackers. That's great. Marcus May, he's a solid player. But then you got, I think, Brian Winters, their best offensive lineman at 79 overall. Then you got their center at 74 overall. Like, they have a bad line. They got a quarterback who, I actually happen to think Sam Darnold can play. Now, I think the Jets have done him a very bad disservice by not surrounding him with more talent. So this is a team I feel you need to steer clear. I do get Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon, as of this video, are still free agents. You could go and pick them up, and maybe that changes things. But as it stands right here, the Jets might be the worst team in Madden 21. The next team is the Detroit Lions. Now, like the Jets, they don't have a very high overall because their best player is a mid to high 80s player. They got two of them, though. Now, Kenny Golladay, good receiver. Marvin Jones, good receiver. Trey Flowers, good receiver. But you go through the rest of their roster. Justin Coleman's a little slow for my taste. Desmond Trufant, and 91 speed. He's getting older, though. Jamie Collins, getting older. Matt Stafford, getting older. Kerryon Johnson, not a running back I would want. Danny Amendola, like, 84 speed is not usable. Like, that's a tight end, and he's probably too short to be playing tight end anyway. And then you go through, like, TJ Hawkinson has a lot of potential. Jeff Okudah has a lot of potential. Let's look at the speed rating. 93. Jamal Agnew, he was a corner last year. This is how thin at wide receiver they are. Like, I don't know why, actually, you know what? I take that back. They have pretty solid receivers. Jamal Agnew, playing wide receiver, 62 overall, that's not useful. Darryl Roberts, a corner, 75 overall, that's pretty alright. Ty Johnson, that could be a little stud, a little sneak value right there. But I'm not a fan of the Lions. I think they're way too old. I think there's not a lot of assets you can trade to make this team a little bit better that anybody is going to want. Kenny Golladay is probably your best trade piece, along with Trey Flowers. Okudah you could develop. Hawkinson you could develop. But you're going to need another quarterback at some point. I don't think Stafford gets it done for you. That's why they're the second team on this list. The next team on the list might be a little bit of a controversial one. Denver Broncos. Now, trust me when I say this. I use the Broncos in the Xbox Pro League in Madden 20. I know what I'm talking about here. Von Miller did not make it past the second season with me. Like, I traded him mid-season on Season 2. The reason being, he is 31 years old. He's not going to get any better. He's good for 1 year. And then he starts to decline. And again, a lot of these guys are old players. Kareem Jackson is old. AJ Bouye is 28. That's almost about the peak of a corner. You got Drill Casey, who's old. You got Bryce Callahan, who's an older player. Bradley Chubb is young. There's something good about that. Their offense is nice. Their offense, I actually am a fan. They got Cortland Sutton. They got Jerry Jeudy. They got Melvin Gordon. They got Phillip Lindsay. Their offense is not the problem. Their defense is atrocious when it comes to season 2 because they're all going to be aging. They're going to be a team that's going to be good for 1 year. And if you hold on too long to the stars like Von Miller and Kareem Jackson and A.J. Bouye, you're going to end up paying for it later on in a CFM cycle. The leagues we're in do 5 years. You got to think about now and you got to think about the future. So they're old on defense. That is the biggest problem with the Denver Broncos. They are young on offense. So to me, if you're very young on one side of the ball and very old on another side of the ball, that's a problem because you're going to have to trade some of those offensive assets to get better on defense, get younger on defense. Like I said, by season 2 in the Pro League, I had to trade every single player that was high rated. I had to trade Lindsey. I had to trade Cortland Sutton. I had to trade Von Miller. I had to trade Chris Harris when he was there. I had to trade Bryce Callahan. I had to trade everybody to even have a chance at rebuilding this team. And I don't recommend going that route. The next team on the list, the New York Giants. Now, the New York Giants have some good offensive weapons. Defensively, they are not very good. Defensively, they lack. So we're going to go to the speed rating. Their fastest corners are 91 overall, and they are not going to do much for you. 60 is not covering anybody. 67 is not covering anybody. 71 is not covering anybody. Now, offensively, they're fine. Offensively, they're fine. They got Barkley. They got Evan Ingram, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. Like, I feel like you could trade Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, and get something in return for him. Now, but saying that, when Davin Tomlinson, an 80 overall defensive tackle, is your best defensive player, and you have 3 80s on defense, that's not doing anything for you. That is bad. You need a defense in Madden 21. Defense is very hard in this game as of the beta. It could be different, but you need better players on defense. James Bradbury was a pickup for them. I'm not so sure about him. Dexter Lawrence, I think he's a young pass rusher. I know they drafted a tackle. They drafted a tackle in the draft. He's young. Their offensive line's not very great. Daniel Jones, he's young. You can develop him. But again, it's going to take a little bit more time to get that defense. You've got to hope that you hit in free agency. You got to hope you hit in the draft. Now, their defense has a lot of rebuilding to do. That's why I have them lower on my list of teams and teams I'm looking to avoid. The last team, and probably the one you're looking at and thinking, how can this be on your list? The Los Angeles Rams. Hear me out. I do understand they have Aaron Donald, the best pass rusher in the game. He's a 99 overall. I understand. Jalen Ramsey is very good as well. Who else do they have besides that? Cooper Kupp, 89 overall, 88 speed. Not liking that. Andrew Whitworth, an aging left tackle. You know, they are very old, and they have a lot of pieces that they need to even be a contender. They play in a tougher division with, I think, 3 teams who are legitimately better than they are. Like you saw me talk about, rant and rave about Arizona. I love that roster. You got Seattle, who has a great roster with the addition of Jamal Adams. They got Bobby Wagner, all of that. They got to face San Francisco, who's got a stacked roster. Now, if you look through the rest of their team, like you look at the speed, they are slow. They are slow in every single way. Like 91 speed is the best they got. That is a death sentence in Madden. The way I feel you could improve this team is literally trading your 2 best players. And that means you're going to be rebuilding for 2, maybe 3 seasons. And I'm doing this in terms of if you are in like a league that goes for 5. That this team I think is, I don't know if it's the worst, but it's top 2. It is bottom 2 roster in the game, in my opinion. There's a lack of speed. The defense has 2 pieces and 2 pieces only. The offense, I think, is atrocious. Like, I'm not a fan of Jared Goff. Never have, never will be. He can win 6 Super Bowls straight. I still think he stinks. This team is very bad. They also have no cap room, from my understanding. All of their cap is tied up into a couple of players, including Aaron Donald and Jared Goff. And I think Whitworth has a huge contract. Plus, you're going to have to pay Jalen Ramsey. At some point, I feel like you can't look at the 2 top players and think, these guys are my favorite players. And what a lot of Madden players tend to do in CFM is they tend to hold on to these players for far too long. I feel the only way to make this roster even remotely viable by year 3 is to trade Aaron Donald and to trade Jalen Ramsey. There's nothing here nothing after those 2 that make me think, dang, I really need this team. This is probably the worst roster in the game. Maybe not as bad as a previous team I said. But guys, let me know what you guys think. Is there somebody that you think's not usable? Is there somebody you're looking at that you want to avoid? Comment in the comment section below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at bgard21. Follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/bgard21. And I want you to sign up for Madden Underground at www.maddenunderground.com. Sign up for the Pro League, sign up for the Sim League, sign up for the Fantasy Draft League. They all play 5 seasons. They all have a money pool for the Super Bowl winner and the runner-up, and I think they're doing division winners as well. So please go check them out, and I'll see you guys next time.